Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Box, the Technical Trader at thetechtrader.com. It is the 25th of March. That's Thursday, and this is the charts of the day. Folks, it's been an interesting rally, and the end of the day today really upset me. I did not like the fact that the market, which was roaring, came down like that because of two, let's call them politicians and their comments. But let's go over some charts that did very well, and I want to show you their progress from the lows and how they look. And the vast majority of them are setting up V-bottom, so they need to retest. So at some point, we are going to come down and form some consolidations. Let's look at AAR, which had plunged from 50, low 50s, like 52, down to 8 and change. And that didn't take long. Actually, the quick plunge came from 45 to 8. But you can see that the rebound reversal day, a little retest or platform, and then a run up into the gap here. And actually almost completely filled the gap. So we might see a pullback consolidation or a force through that takes us to 22.24. Those are my next targets and something to watch. Most of the stocks I'm going to show you today look like this. Boeing. Well, Boeing had plunged, and obviously with government support is exploding off the lows. In the last 3 days, 93 to 174.5 range, which is the target of mine today. This has more than filled the gap. The gap fill came there. The extension nearly got to that day's high, which is 178. And my target would be a max of 192.3, but it may need to pull back and consolidate in this area. Huge volume today, though. Bellerophon, a little different, which exploded 3 days ago, and they got whacked back by the market to test support and reversal today. This is an engulfing reversal bar with good volume, but not great volume. It ended up 279 at 30% on $1.25 million, but it needs more than that. Watch this following level. Above 14.75, this is a rock star, but it may not get there. We'll have to see what we get. Watch for a follow-through potentially tomorrow. CATS, massive decline, double top, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave decline with a tail right there at 8.55. And in 3 days, nearly 15. But there's a key resistance up here, so I would expect a pullback consolidation, potentially a little bit more upside towards 15.5. But I would like to see all of these set up better for additional upside with at least 4 or 5 days of pullback. Maybe we'll get that. CCL, excuse me, this swing trade of mine down in that range really rocketed off the lows after reversing 5 days ago. It's been up for 5 days in a row. Big volume today, reaching as high as 17 plus from where I gave it to you at about 8.5 or 9, wherever it was. I'll have to look at the number, but for me, I like the way it look here that I think maybe even extension to 18.5 is doable, and eventually something up around mid-20s, but I'm not looking for that right now. I'm looking to see whether the stock can hold support right in that zone, back and fill perhaps, or maybe even extend. Huge upside volume, 5 days in a row in this market. Chef's Warehouse, and I'm not sure why this is doing this, and I believe it had to do with heavy short selling going into this low. It had literally plunged from 20 to 3 and change in 5 days. And it traded up into almost 40 at one point. So you can see that 5 days in a row, a big rally back up. Maximum I would see on this run up is 15.5, 16. I would look for a pullback though. Key support around 7.75, 8. CNR also, Cornerstone Building Brands. Nice reversal off the lows. And then a nice pop yesterday with a pullback. I said that pullback looked like a buy. It moved this morning from 393 to 489. Excuse me, almost a full point. And now I would look for some extension potentially to 5.25, but at some point we're going to do some backing and filling. But this looks like a bottom to me. Checking out CODX, totally different chart, obviously. Explosive move on the coronavirus situation from 2.5 to low 20s. Now this big wedge. Now, I don't know if this wedge is going to result in an explosive move, but you can see the reversal today with an increase in volume. Keep an eye on this one. Targets are 13.5 and 16. CROX, another stock that came down, plunged, retested, and exploded for 3 days. From an under 10 to nearly 20, 100% move in 3 days, and a heavily shorted stock. You can see why. I'm looking for a back and fill as well on this one, and we'll see what occurs. CTSO exploded. This is the 3rd day in a row, and a nice reversal off the 3.5 low to get up to 6.5, but there's resistance up here. Ideally, we back and fill, consolidate, and go to the next level near 7.75, 8. Carvana, huge move off the low. Getting down to 22.5 and rocketing to 66.5. This has gone up 44 points, folks, in a week. Pretty impressive, but looking back at where resistance lies, it's right in the resistance zone. So I'd be careful up here. Momentum could take it to as high as mid-70s, but I'd be awfully careful, and particularly below today's low. If this gets under 52, you might see mid-40s on it. But I would look for an extension or some kind of consolidation flag, pullback, falling wedge, whatever. Delta Airlines, one of our swings, also popped from 20 to 33. Huge move for this swing, and we met both targets. I increased my targets today to, I think I said 33 and 30, 34 and 38. Excuse me. You can see that the declining tops line and the move off the low, which has taken it from 19 to 33, may need some consolidation. We'll also get some follow through. Next target 36. EQ, UNR, and the oil and gas sector had a big day today, popping $1.28 at 12%. Volume was strong. I believe that some of the oil and gas stocks are coming back to the forefront. This one, however, has got some gap resistance at 12.42. ERI in the gaming group, which plunged from 70 to 6, has come back with an abandon now of 5 days in a row. But back to key resistance in that zone. I would expect that to pull back and retest as well. But at some point, this may even move into the mid-30s. GOL in the airline sector, foreign airline, dropping from 19 down to under 2, exploded to over 4.5, and backed off. But this one looks like it does extend. 5.5 is your target. Look for also consolidation, pullback, retest on all of these. JetBlue, another airline that exploded from 6 and change to 12, is near resistance and may back off as well. Good volume the last 2 days. The home builders, KB and Leonard, has done very well. This one in particular I like, from under 10 to nearly 20. This stock has doubled in a very short period of time, but there is overhead resistance at 21. Another gaming stock, MGM, rocketed from 6 to 14.5 in just a week. At resistance up here, although a secondary target might be, if it does have further momentum, maybe even as high as 18. I'd be careful though. Up in this range, it may be in need of a pullback to do some testing, probably around 11. NAIL, the ETF for the home building sector, also on the run with a big volume day today. This might extend as well, 21 target. NCLH, another cruise line, rocketing from 7.5 all the way up to 18, excuse me. More than around 11 points. What a move on big volume today, 47 million. I would think the possibilities are that you might see that stock make a move towards 21, 23 zone. But again, in this case, consolidation is in order. Invitae, a stock that we liked a lot in here, excuse me, which broke out there, has run up to resistance and then got creamed. This reversal bar was a key that this stock, or a clue I should say, that it was going to make a move. And it did, from 7.5 to 15.5, and filling that gap, or nearly doing so. Extension target would be 18, but I would also be cautious on every one of these. They have momentum, but it may not mean that much. PENN, another gaming stock that rocketed off the lows under 4 to over almost 16, a 300% gain in a week. There's a platform of support here that it held today, but that's going to be a stop under 11.75. It may pull back even to 8 thereabout. We'll see. But I'm looking for some consolidation and a better setup on all of these. The mortgage group, especially the REITs today, really rocketed. This one went literally from 3.5 to today's high at 10.68, and it closed pretty close to the high. So an excellent day for this one. Your targets and resistance at 11, but anything through that looking like 14. Royal Caribbean participated along with the other cruise ships, 20 to 45, 25 points in a week, and the upside resistance and targets is 50-52. I'd be careful on every one of these, but momentum is pretty strong in some of that group. RRGB, another fantastic rebound, a huge volume for this stock. Getting down to 4 and rocketing to 13.60. It's now tripled and may need some consolidation. SAVE, another airline, Spirit, has gone from 7 to 18. And is at resistance as well. Maybe extends, but there's problems potentially ahead. I wanted to show you SE, which really held up pretty well considering the market decline, and rocketed right back from the lows in there, 35.5, all the way back up to 46. And there's resistance here, but I think on a longer term basis, this looks like it has potential to be potentially much higher. TLRY with a big reversal today on 25 million, and may extend at this point up to as high as 7.5. We'll see. Winnebago with a strong earnings report, rocketed out of its declining channel, and reached all the way up to 33 at one point, closing up 29, and that was up 5 points, 21% at 2 million. Again, this may extend, but we're looking for consolidations on most of these. The better the consolidation, the better chances this market can extend. XLE in the oil sector is lifting. Maybe oil is going to rally. If it does, my targets in XLE would be about 32, and then high is 37. And finally, Zoom had pulled back after a rocket start, and I still like the look of it if it doesn't break down from here. Keep an eye on yesterday's low, 113.88. Stop under that, because it's then vulnerable about. What was the low? 133.88, right. If it gets below that, you may get a deeper pullback towards 118.20. But I like the possibilities of this being $175 down the road. And that's a look at some of the big winners and big movers of late in the last couple of days in the market. HB out. Have a good evening.